But today, there was a Woj bomb, as people like to say.
Like no other.
On Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, usually about the NBA and some trade or something going on. And we know. But, Rob G., I want to bring you in on this. And there was a big story today involving an ESPN NBA insider most people consider as the best one out there.
Most people consider him not just the best out there now, but arguably the best to ever do it in the world of breaking news for sports. Longtime NBA insider, formerly at Yahoo, most recently with ESPN, Adrian Wojnarowski is retiring. He's going out on top like Michael Jordan.
He's 55. When I first saw that story, I was like, retiring for what?
Less than 3 years after signing a $35 million contract with the four-letter, he's dipping out, leaving roughly $20 million on the table.
I just
got chills.
To become the new general manager of the St. Bonaventure men's basketball program. He'll be heading up mostly the NIL department.
Not the Knicks?
Not the Knicks.
Turning down 20, not the Nets? Man. I tell you what, first of all, what a Woj bomb for your last one to be about you.
I'm sorry, I'm not leaving no $20 million on the table as a sports NBA insider. I mean, there are a lot of, seriously, like that's the kind of money that people never see.
Oh,
and work
99.99999 on earth will never see that. Yeah.
Never see that. So that's a hard pill to swallow. I'm going to just be up front.
Mm-hmm.
I know Woj, okay? He worked in New Jersey at the Bergen Record. We go way back to my NBA days when I was a beat writer and I covered the New Jersey Nets before they moved to Brooklyn and all that stuff. So I know him, from a long time ago, and he's had a tremendous career. And it's his decision or whatever. But here's the problem I have with this. And I get it. People want quality of life. They want to do other stuff. They don't want to be pigeonholed their whole life. I understand that. People move on. You make changes in your life and whatnot. I'm just going to say, this is all I ever wanted to do since I was 9 years old. Not too many people, all my friends, nobody's even surprised at what I'm doing. Because this is what I told people back then I wanted to do when I was a kid. And I'm talking about being in sports media, a writer, a broadcast, all that stuff. That's what I love. But if you're going to, I don't see the reward in this. And what I mean is St. Bonaventure, the Bonnies, you're not winning an NCAA title. You're almost obscure basketball program. I know he went there. That's his alma mater. If you want to help you, he's already been for a long time with fundraising and helping to do stuff to make the program. I get all that. That's your school. Why not? I went to Southern Connecticut undergrad. Anything I could do to help the school, I would. I went to Columbia for my master's. Nope, they don't need my help. They got plenty of money and plenty of great athletes.
They're doing all right.
They're doing all right without Rob Parker. So I get that. But I'm talking about giving up the career that he had going. It's got to be because you're going to be the GM of Duke or North Carolina or Syracuse. You know what I mean? Or some school or something where there's this guy's a great basketball mind and he's going to help us get us righted and back to the right place. I don't see that here. I see this as bowing out to take a less pressure job where there are no expectations on you.
I want to read something to you that I think was very important. A couple of things he said in his statement. He said, time isn't an endless supply, and I want to spend mine in ways that are more personally meaningful. He's married. I don't recall if he has children. I believe he does. The wanting to spend time with your family after being in the grind. You know what this grind takes, right? You want to be in the media. Those of you listening right now, I'm sure we got some young men and women who are either in college or, young adults. I want to be in media. It's a grind. You got to go to small outlets and small markets and grind your way. And when they tell you can go home, you don't go home. You stay. When they say come at 8, you come at 7. You get early. You're there early. It is a grind. And to become great, it's even more of a grind. To become, as Rob G said, maybe the greatest of all time when it comes to breaking news in the NBA, it takes an incredible amount of time. It takes an incredible amount of sacrifice from you and from your family. And there's a certain point when you've done it all, when you've reached the mountaintop and you're like, nah, this ain't for me anymore. And the key word was meaningful. It's not that he can't do it. It's not that he won't get checks, but it's not meaning anything to him, Rob. It's not getting him that satisfaction that he needs anymore. You know what would? Going to the Bonnies and helping them get in the tournament. You know what would? Going to the Bonnies and finding that player that nobody thought of from New York and getting him on there and he balls out and he has a great career and he goes on to become a great young man, whether it be in the NBA or just a great citizen. I think there's a more meaningful things than simply money, especially once you've earned some, because you've seen, all right, I got some money, I got some bread, I'm doing well. What now?
There are a ton of people who have earned a lot of money who still work because it burns inside them.
Yeah.
And it's something that, because one of the things, and it's not, I get it, people, oh, how much money do you need? That sounds good, but there's a reason that we do what we do and a passion that goes with it. And for somebody who is at a pinnacle of their career, at the biggest place to do it, and he's not 65, he's 55. I get there's a lot of other things that play into it. But then to go take that job is what I'm saying. If he told me he just wanted to bow out because he was burnt out and there's these other reasons, and I'm not going to work and I'm just going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to go sit in the stands and watch the Bonnies play.
Yeah.
I'll buy that. That I'll buy. But to be the general manager of an obscure basketball program in college basketball, it sounds strange to me.
But listen, my man T Grizzly, a rapper from Detroit, he says, ain't it a blessing? Ain't it a blessing that he can do what he wants? Meaning I made a bunch of money. I'm legendary. I got Adam Schefter Dagner crying on TV for me. And Jeff Passan, they're all just sitting there literally weeping for the because I'm so great.
Did you see the byline? They all were on the same byline for the story?
What?
Passan and Schefter.
Yeah.
All on this byline.
Yeah. So all the leaders in that field showing me love. I'm the greatest. Woj bombs are crazy. Everybody knows about them. And now I get to walk away from that on top, like John Elway and the other greats. And then I get to go do what I love, which is cover basketball, be a part of this team, be a general manager, and build. Oh, and by the way, if my wife says, hey, I made that thing you love tonight, or maybe she says I'm sitting here oiled up in olive oil like Alex wants her to be, he can come home to that. He ain't got to take showers with his phone sitting over there. He don't have to worry about, did I miss anything? Did I break it first? He gets to have a better quality of life. Oh, and by the way, to your point, he's young enough that if he decides to come back in 5-10 years, he can still do so. But I think there is a thing is when it's run its course, right? There's a time when all things must come to an end. And for him, after a long, probably 30-year career, being one heralded as the great, I think it's a blessing. I get to go down in the Hall of Fame. They got my jersey up in the rafters of breaking news in sports. And now I get to go do this new challenge, this new quest, and it's meaningful and it's personal to me.
But yeah, I get that. But for something
every time I'm looking at you got dollar signs in your eyes. Every time I'm looking at that's the problem right now, Rob.
There's something that
I can't even see you right now.
This is something he's never done, so you have to put in energy and work hard to try to do this. So it's not like
it's not 24/7.
Yeah, but even today, and I'm not taking. I've broken news, for newspapers and had stories on the A1 and all that. And what they do today compared to breaking news in those days is way different, where agents are calling them and tipping them off and giving them, like when Woj was breaking down the draft and giving you the players to be drafted, that ain't breaking news. That means you're on the inside, okay? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. It's much different.
Here's the first pick. Here's the second pick. He has them all. That's not that you've got an inside and because you need to know, right, what everybody's pick is. It wasn't like you just guessed who the first pick or you had an insight on one team. You know all the draft lottery. That means you're on the inside. And it's different because we even saw Schefter got caught up where he was sending his story to one of the NFL GMs who was proofreading it. In journalism, you know this,
Yeah,
Kelvin.
that's true. No, that's facts.
Come on, man. Anybody else you do that, you might be fired if they find out.
Well, we saw that happen with some, I ain't going to say no names, with CNN or a presidential debate. Somebody was kind of feeding the questions. Yeah. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I think that may also play a role, that the game ain't the same, right? He's feeling like, man, the game ain't the same. But you just mentioned people feeding you things, agents calling you, this happening. Maybe he doesn't want everybody to have that access to him, too. I'm tired of people being able to call me 4 a.m. Hey, yo, I got something for you. Disrespectful. Hey, I'm on the weekends with my kids doing this for my. Hey, man, I got something. You got to do this. You need to post this for me. You need to say this for me. Hey, make sure you get this out here this way. I don't want everybody having access to me like that anymore. I've done that. I'm tired of that. I don't want everybody being able to just call me whenever and however. And lastly, I'll say this, Rob. I think this, and you may feel me on this, I think this also changed the game. The access that we all have to social media, players with podcasts, players getting information out, players arguing with him, arguing with GMs. Like, the game ain't the same no more. And I have a feeling he's like, man, this is not even what I came into the business of. I'd rather bow out now gracefully and move on. Because now players, no, that's not what happened. I want to put the news out. Let me get my own podcast. You talked about Draymond Green the other day. Let me get the narrative out my way.
They can get it out, but they're not always. It ain't.
But it's combative and, like, you know, now as opposed to, hey, I got to pull you to the side, Rob Parker, when you said something. Now I can go on social media and fight you and argue and blast with you all day. So I think those things, quality of life, giving less access to people being in his life, and also just the fact that the game has changed. Everybody has a microphone. Every player can say something. Everybody can tweet. Everybody has a podcast.
It doesn't mean that they're all good stuff or worth. A lot of fans
signs in your eyes.
Are disappointed when they hear some of that stuff.
You just heard $20 million and lost your mind.
Well, here we go. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. Is Woj making a mistake by giving up $20 million to be the general manager of St. Bonaventure's basketball program? I mean, really? We'll continue the conversation next with you. It is The Odd Couple on a Worship Wednesday, and I'd say, Lord have mercy when I heard that story, because I still can't believe it. He didn't just say, I'm tired and I want to go away and I'm going to relax and go do nothing. He's going to take on a job that takes a lot of energy now to do something that he's never done.